We make things. We use our hands, minds, and machines to build, to fix, to improve. We're known as do-it-yourselfers, home improvement fans, fix-it fanatics, inventors. At our core, though, we're all makers. So let's jump in and make something. Hi, I'm Ron Hazelton, and welcome to the show. Today we're going to install an energy-efficient sliding glass door that replaces an old, not-so-attractive energy waster. Along the way, we'll find and fix some fairly major dry rot. Then we'll build a handsome outside trash enclosure that keeps garbage cans out of sight, yet easily accessible. And install new cabinet hardware the easy way. Stick around, I'll make it worth your while. Well, today's trip is to Cooperstown, New York. I'm going to be visiting Bill and Barbara Harmon. Its all-American Main Street is surrounded by miles and miles of wooded hillsides. Though the real jewel of Cooperstown has to be 9-mile-long Otsego Lake. Barbara Harmon's deck looks right out on the lake, and while the views are stunning, the cold wind that comes off the water seems to pass right through her old sliding glass door. Almost like it wasn't even there. Kind of a nice house here. Tell me a little bit about this. Have you guys been here a long time?
We've been here about 25 years, and the house has been here close to 50, originally built by a shop teacher from the local school.
Really?
Yeah, and it was a restaurant for a time.
Went from a house to a restaurant and back to a house again. Wow.
Yes.
Well, everything's held up pretty well except for the door here. Looks like it got some rot going on down here. Let's see how this looks. Oh yeah, that's time for replacement. This is also just one pane of glass.
That's right, and we're triple pane on the new one, so I'm real happy about that.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Should
Okay,
be good and warm.
that'll keep things nice and toasty in here. And I imagine that's important because you've got a lot of cold air blowing in off the lake here.
Cold air, a lot of snow.
Well, you're dressed to work.
I am.
Ready to
good
go?
And warm. I'm ready.
Okay, let's tear this whole one out, grab some tools, and we'll get going here. Come on.
Thanks.
This old door, like most, has both a sliding panel and a fixed panel. Our first step is to take out the fixed side by removing two brackets, one at the top, the other at the bottom. With all the screws out, we slide the door to the center and get ready to lift it from the track. Barbara's husband, Bill, a college professor, arrives just in time to lend a hand. That way, if we break it, it's, it's your door.
My fault, huh?
Just lift the bottom right out.
Okay.
And then it should drop from the top, and let's just bring it over here. Maybe we can lean it up against the railing here. To remove the sliding door, we first pry off a retaining strip, and then the interior door casing. That's it. Okay, that's free. So Bill will drop the top of this to you. Is that all right? And I'll if you want to take it all the way down, and I'll take this end of it here.
Get on another side with you.
Okay. I think you get to rest. You did all the hard work.
Oh, good.
With the doors out, we can start on the door frame. We begin by pulling out the nails that have been driven through the exterior trim. Then we remove the threshold and pull the frame away. Pull it down. There we go. Okay, out with the old. You pull it out. There we go. Okay. Now remember that dry rot we saw earlier? Well, there's even more down here beneath the old threshold. So we tear out everything that's rotten. Finally, when we've gotten down to solid material, we rebuild. Untreated lumber gets a coat of wood preservative. The rest is already pressure treated. All right, comes our first 2x6. Good, you put some preservative on the end, the cut ends of that.
I'm gonna tap this in place first.
Okay. Feel the power, Barbara. Feel the power.
I do.
Okay, so that's it. I'd say we're out about a ½ an inch over the whole run here. So let's take this board right here. This is our last 2x6. Just drop that in place. Okay. Now on your end, Barbara, I'm going to take two shims and I'm going to run them in opposite directions like this. Just go ahead and slip those right under the end, about right here. Just lift the board up a little bit and push both of those in there. All the way back. There you go. Now let me just check this. Oh.
How could you be more perfect than that?
Okay, so now what we have to do is put a series of shims along here every 12 inches or so to support this all the way across. We insert the rest of our shims, check for level, saw off the protruding ends, and nail the final 2x6 into place. To protect our new framing from water damage, we're going to cover it with thin sheet metal called flashing. We first cover the face of the new framing, then fold the flashing over the top. It's secured with galvanized roofing nails.
All right, now this is just going to be a spacer. We're going to have to make our upper opening here just a little bit lower. Okay, Barbara, you ready? Actually, maybe a little further away from my finger.
You don't want me to
No,
hit your
it's
finger.
not that I don't trust you.
Oh, I see.
There you go.
Ah, that's better. Replacement doors such as the one we're installing are typically a bit smaller than the original. In this case, our new door is about 3/4 of an inch narrower than the old one. So, we add a board to the side of the opening to make it slightly narrower.
Now this is called a nailing flange. Actually, what I'm going to ask you guys to do is to bend this out. This is going to do a couple of things. This is how we're going to actually attach the door to the house and make some adjustments. It also provides a weather seal between the door frame and the framing of the house. So once you guys step in here, just grab a hold of that.
We bend out the flange along the sides and top of the door frame. Then lean the door assembly against the deck railing for the next step.
We are ready to caulk your guns. Bill?
Yes, sir.
Barbara? Bill, your job is to put a 3/8 inch bead of caulk right down the center of this flange right here, okay?
Okay.
Barbara, yours is to put a 3/8 inch bead along, sort of form like a rectangle about an inch or so in from the outside edge, all the way around this, especially on the end right here.
Okay,
Okay, guys?
thank you.
Go for it.
The caulk will provide a weather-tight seal between the flange and the framing, the sill, and the threshold. It's also great for other things.
Hey, I always say, you got to put a little fun into home improvement.
That's right.
This sediment will remain Bill and Barbara's little secret, something they'll perhaps recall each time they step inside.
Now tip it up very slowly. Very slowly. There we go. I'm going to step inside because I want to be sure we're centered. Hold it right there.
Hold it.
Good, good. Looking great, guys.
I hammer a single nail through the flange to hold the door frame in place, while we use a level to make sure the sides are perfectly vertical or plumb. Then the three of us hammer in the rest of the nails. Finally, we replace the door casings just as the chill of a brisk fall evening rolls in off the lake.
Well, there we go. You have got a door.
We do, a beautiful door.
Yeah, three
Very
panes
nice.
of glass. That cold air can come right off that lake, hit that glass, bounce right back again. You're
And
going
we'll
to be cozy.
toasty warm.
You certainly will.
We had quite a job. I was a little concerned when I saw that rotted wood down there. You've done a nice job.
Hey,
Good work.
it was teamwork.
It
Come
was
on,
teamwork.
it was teamwork.
All that hard preparation
What do you
made
say,
for well-framed and nice-looking door.
What do you say we team up and have some dinner?
I'd love to. Let's
Okay.
Well, that lake wind may be blowing outside, but we've certainly eliminated the wind chill factor in here. A toast to new friends, a cozy home, and a job well done.
Now, I don't know how things work around your place, but here we get a very important visit once a week. Yep, Tuesday is garbage pickup day. When that truck pulls away, I can almost feel a weight lifting from my shoulders. That's because for 6 days, our trash has been piling up and piling up. What I need is a place to store it that's outdoors, out of sight, and out of reach of the little critters who regard it as a tempting meal. So today, I'm building an outside trash enclosure that's convenient, good-looking, and tamper-proof. Now come on over here, let me show you what I have in mind. I'm going to start with a base frame like this, made out of pressure-treated lumber. Then I'll add some decking on top of that. We'll put on some side frames, a back frame, and a front rail. That'll pretty much give us the structure. And then some side walls or skins, and a back and a front, the doors, and the lid. So let's start by building this base frame.
Since the base is going to be in contact with the ground, I'm going to make it out of pressure-treated lumber.
I've cut out all the pieces for my base here, and it's time to hook everything together. Everything seems to fit, so let's get these out of the way for the time being. I'm going to start by putting this end piece on. These holes that I'm drilling right now are called clearance or shank holes. It just allows these screws to go through a little more quickly and not to bite into that first piece of wood. This is a hammer drill, And it's really nice for driving in long screws. Okay, I've got my outer frame done now. So let's see how these fit right here. I don't mind if they're snug. I kind of like that. Almost there. Rotate this one more time. Now there's our base frame. That's what we had over here on the computer. Now our next step, I'm going to be adding some decking right on top.
The decking will be cut to length from 1¼ inch thick pressure-treated planks.
I'm going to make this flush on the ends and flush on the side. Now I'm not drilling shanker clearance holes for these screws because they're fairly short. The wood is soft, they're going in quite well.
To allow for drainage, I'm going to put an 1/8 inch gap between the boards. A 16-penny nail makes a perfect spacer. The final plank will have to be trimmed to fit.
3 5/8 ought to do it. So let's just go ahead and rip this down. Well, there's our deck. As a matter of fact, it looks just like it does over here on the computer. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to add these two side frames right here.
Again, I'm going to screw these pieces together.
So I think as an added precaution, this is going to be outside. I'm going to put a little glue on. This is a polyurethane glue. Very good for exterior projects. Drop this in here. Now this is what urethane glue does when it dries. It kind of expands, kind of foams, and it'll push out of a joint. So no problem though, if you just take a sharp knife, you can just trim this right off. And I'm going to do this all the way around here. Oh, side frame number one. I'm just going to repeat the process for the other one. Okay, now it's time for me to add the back frame. There we go. 2 sides and 1 back.
Now it's time to attach the frames to the base. I find it easier to clamp them in place first, then secure them with rust-resistant screws.
Now you can see this is beginning to take shape now. This is my back section here.
We screw this first to the deck and then into the side frames.
Now this part right here, the front, is going to be open, but we are going to need a brace up here to tie these 2 corners together.
With the frame complete, I'm now ready to apply the paneling that will enclose it.
So let's start putting up this tongue and groove. And I'm just going to put these up temporarily. Just take a pencil and just draw 1 line.
Now I'll take the panels down and trim each one to length by cutting to the line I've just drawn.
This is construction adhesive, and since this could move, expand, and contract over time, I'm going to give myself an extra insurance here by just putting a bead up here. This is set this first board in place. Well, there are sides and back. All right. We're moving right along. Side walls are on, back walls are on. I want to move on to making the lid and the doors. And I'm going to make that up using that same tongue and groove wood.
The boards for the lid and doors are slipped together and held in place with battens that are screwed into the back. The doors also get diagonal braces to keep them from sagging. With everything assembled, it's time for a coat of primer and paint. While it's drying, I move outside to prepare the ground, first by digging out about 4 inches of soil, then compacting the surface with a tamper. Next, I lay in some landscape fabric that will prevent weed growth, yet allow drainage. On top of that goes several inches of gravel. Well, we're just about there. All that's left is to attach the hardware.
Well, I think that turned out pretty well. Certainly easy to use, blends in with the house, and I don't think those critters are going to be able to open that lid. When it came time to redo our kitchen, instead of replacing the cabinets, I decided to repaint them and replace the hardware. Well, the paint job is done. Now it's time to install the new knobs. Now, this is the kind of job that any smart do-it-yourselfer would not begin without consulting his or her better half. Well, we got to decide where you want the knobs. All right, so I have an idea.
I don't know what's most typical.
So here's what we're going to do. This is a reusable adhesive. It's kind of like a sticky clay.
Oh, yeah,
so
like
here's what I
Play-Doh.
thought. Take a little dot of this and put it on the back of a knob. Put it where you think you'd like it.
All right. Like right there.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay, well, my wife Lynn really seems to be into this project. So I invite her out to the shop to get involved in the making. So you want to know my plan?
Love to know your plan.
Okay. I'm going to make up something I call a boring jig.
Okay.
So what the idea is, it's going to slip onto the door, and it's going to put the hole for the knob in the same place on every door. Yeah, that's pretty clear. What's needed right off the top is a little instruction in table saw operation. Here's what I want you to do. You're going to put one hand here, and you're just going to kind of push this all the way through the blade.
But what if the saw doesn't like... All right.
Doesn't what?
What if...
The main thing is...
Do I have to hold it, really
push it straight? Just push it straight. Go ahead, I want you to do it right now with the blade down. Just push it straight
I can push it without the blade down.
No, get your thumbs back on the back edge here. So there you go. On both sides. That's right, all the way.
Oh, no way. No, because when I do that, my thumb is like right off the blade. There's a saw and these are fingers. I'm watching.
Watch this.
I'm witnessing.
It's all right. If you're not comfortable, I really don't want you using the saws, but I'm going to have you nail this strip of wood now to the
With
edge
a
of the
hammer?
plywood. No, with this. Here you go.
What's going to happen?
It's going to drive a nail in.
Oh, Christ. I can do it. I can do it.
You're used to it now. You know what it sounds like. There you go. And one more here. See? It's not so bad, huh?
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Hey, girls, if I can do this, you can do this.
Okay, there you go. Now this is a neat little saw, and it cuts as you pull it toward you. All right, good. So here's our template. We've just got one thing left to do, and that's drill a hole through here, which will correspond to where we want the hole in the door frame.
All right.
You just pull that lever down. Just pull it down.
This?
Yeah, slowly.
This?
Yeah, turn it. So get this, keep going, keep going.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to put it right on those crosshairs there. Okay, keep going. Okay, all the way through. All the way through. Good.
Now what?
Let it come back up.
Oh, do I have to hold on to it?
Well, yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so there's our hole where we started it.
Now I could deal with
Okay,
that.
and this is where the hole came out.
All right.
All right, so we're all set. I'm going to take this in and put the knobs on for you now. I like this. I like this so much I think I'm going to put my brand on it. And this is how it works. I'm going to open the door, slip this right over the edge like that, push it up, make sure that it's in contact on the side and the bottom. Then take an adjustable clamp. The template not only gives me the right position for this drill, but because it's thick, it keeps the drill going in at a straight or perpendicular angle. It should really minimize the tear out. Clean hole. Give it a snug to the back here. There we go. I can do the entire kitchen here probably in 30 or 45 minutes with that.
To view today's projects again, visit ronhazelton.com. Step-by-step home improvement tips when you need them. Let Ron show you how to do it yourself.